AI images have gotten out of hand. So what am I talking about? First of all, would like to say, clarify that I do not support using AI to make art, especially when you claim it as your own, because it's just stealing from other artists. Like, let's make that very clear. But for today's video, the type of AI images I'm specifically talking about are the ones that keep getting posted on social media by, I'm assuming, bots. Like, it's not people who are claiming, yep, I drew this. It's weird images. I'm like, there is literally no way a human posted this. And then the image itself is trying to play off as if it's an actual image that somebody took with a camera, but then if you even take 1 second to remotely look at it, it looks ridiculous. And of course, these types of pictures have been posted on every social media platform, but they seem to really be on Facebook a lot. Now, I don't really use Facebook that often, however, I do have it to stay connected to family, and so sometimes when I'm scrolling, I will just come across the most insane AI image ever, and I would grab a screenshot of it and save it for later, and now it's gotten to a point where I have compiled enough of them that I have enough to make a video because they are ridiculous. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this first one, honestly, does it even really need an explanation from me because it's so what? So it's a group of women. They're all running on a track, some sort of race, right? They're all carrying newborns, what it appears, while also being heavily pregnant. So therefore, if we actually take a minute to think about the timelines, that means these newborns can't be their kids. So they're carrying somebody else's newborn while also being heavily pregnant and running on a track. Just absolutely bonkers. But let's zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit, right? The noses of these poor women. I don't know what happened. And the faces of their babies, especially that one, looks like something out of a nightmare. Because what is that? And even still, besides those obvious things, if you go down to the middle girl's feet right behind her, what's going on with that shoe there? What are we doing? What's happening? And another common trend I seem to find on these sorts of posts on Facebook is that they always have the caption of "Why don't images like these ever trend?" And this one is no exception. Why don't pictures like this ever trend with a bunch of emojis? Posted by Best Maryborn? And somehow it has 12K likes, 133 comments, and 51 shares. You know, why don't pictures like these ever trend? I saved the best of the best screenshots that I could find. So let's keep going because some of them get even worse. I know we started out strong, but some of them do get worse. See what I mean? And again, the caption, why don't pictures like this ever trend? I don't know, why don't they? So first of all, we got a bunch of military guys, right? Again, if you zoom in on their faces, some of them are not human. They are not human. And we got almost all of them in the front are amputees for the leg, right? To get like some sympathy likes, I guess, I don't know. But if you zoom in on how their hands are like either resting on the leg or anything like that, it looks bonkers. Because look at this guy on the left. What's draping over his one leg? Is that supposed to be a third hand? Because it's kind of the same skin tone as him? Or what? And his other hand looks super long and really scary. And then we got this guy who has his fingers like intertwined with each other, but they look like they're like meshed or welded together, which is terrifying. I don't like that. And the other ones in the front, their hands aren't doing that great either. But the main thing, right? You would think whatever the main subject is of the picture, they would try to make it not look AI, so then the background maybe people just won't notice. Well, obviously, the dog is the main part of this picture, right? And he also is a double amputee, but somehow he has 3 dog legs and 2 prosthetics? And the prosthetics are like, what's going on? The one on the left looks like it's coming out of his damn shoulder. What are we doing? This one was another banger. 917 comments, 1.8k shares, and 23k likes. Now I can only hope these are bot interactions because a bot had to have posted this, so hopefully therefore it's just other bots interacting with it or something, because if these 23k likes are primarily actual humans, I'm I'm very disappointed. Come on. All right, coming in strong with another why don't pictures like this ever trend? And it's another patriotic one, but it's just a semi with a bunch of shoulders. Shoulders? No, soldiers on the back holding big flags, right? Which I guess maybe at first glance, if you really were not paying attention, then it'd just be like, oh, a semi is hauling a bunch of American flags or something. You maybe not notice all the soldiers. But first of all, look how many tires are on this semi going all the way down. That's the longest semi I've ever seen. And all of these soldiers are just standing on the edge holding these flags. And if you zoom in on their faces, they look like, I don't know, ghosts? Maybe they're ghosts? Like, what's going on there? What's happening? What are we doing? However, I can admit, compared to the first two, this one is not as bad. It's not as egregious. But don't worry, I have some worse ones I'll show you. Again, why don't pictures like this ever trend? And it's the weirdest picture ever that even if it wasn't completely AI, I would still not understand why anyone would possibly think it would trend. Because, what? It's showing a fully formed baby, even though it's at the level of being with the other sperm, and yet with the sperm is the baby, so I guess that's supposed to symbolize, you know, the sperm that makes it to the end and becomes the baby, I guess, you know? Sure. What message are you trying to get with this? Like, was it supposed to be like a pro-life sort of message you're trying to get across or something? Because it's just weird. It's just weird and it's kind of freaky. Now, I said almost all of them have that why doesn't this picture ever trend? Well, the other one that is a very, very common caption is this one. Today is my birthday. Hope I get some love here. So usually the caption has to deal with it is this person or this animal's birthday and they just really want to be interacted with on social media, right? Like that is always the caption of some version of that. And this one is a dog standing in the middle of the road while it's raining. Also has a prosthetic like the other dog, but it's just in the middle of the road with the rain thinking, I hope we get some love. Who is we? The dog's the only one in the picture. Who is we? What's going on here? And of course, they make AI images for everything, right? Including celebrities, which I do feel so bad for celebrities in this regard because the amount of AI images about any celebrity is horrendous. And this one in particular is Zendaya and Tom Holland. You know, on the surface, it's, you know, sweet. Tom is proposing to Zendaya, a sweet moment, right? Maybe this cooking page wants to get ahead of all the gossip and announce their engagement before Tom even does it. I don't know. But the background is horrifying. Let's zoom in on their faces. Look at those people in the back. Oh my God. It's terrifying. Regardless of the fact, I mean, look at Tom's hand holding the ring box. Like, what are we doing there? I don't like it. I don't like it. This next one left me a little bit shocked. And even though, like, I obviously took a screenshot of it and I'm about to show you, every time I look at it, it still throws me off guard, right? Wonder Woman enjoying with some emojis, and it's this image. This image. I don't actually want to analyze that one too much. In fact, I just want to keep scrolling. It's so weird. Now again, we have another baby one. Look at this poor woman. She's riding a bike, is very clearly heavily pregnant, has a newborn on her pregnant stomach, and her bike has a basket that's filled with children. And behind them are trucks filled with more children. And in the road and on the side are more children. Hundreds and hundreds of children that apparently are all this one woman's, I guess? I don't know. What? That poor woman. And zooming in on the kids' faces, good God. Like, what's going on with that one? What's happening? And no wonder she's screaming to the sky. All of these not human things behind her are all crying and they look horrific. I would be screaming as well. Now this one is less horrifying as it is more amusing. And again, why don't pictures like these ever trend, guys? Come on. But look at this parking lot and look at these cars. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this the new Tesla model? All the cars are just blended and melded together, just like morphing into one another. It's something. This next one is also a pretty wild ride. I feel like I've said that about every single one, but have I been wrong yet? Keep trusting me, alright? Posted by Sophia Rose, 10 unknown facts about #BMW. And then a list of facts, but I don't care about that, right? But then this is the image with that caption. This very weird bed where apparently he only has 1 foot, and that foot has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 toes. But that is the creepiest bed I have ever seen. But then sometimes some of these AI images get good enough that I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't one of them until you actually have to look closer at it, right? And this is one of them. Again, it's another military one. This is depicting a military family. Sweet in theory, right? The caption, please don't move without giving them a little love. Sure, right? You know, they're all smiling. They all look very nice. But let's look at their horrific hands. Let's start here. So the wife, her hand is curving around, right? It's curving around, but it looks so long and weird and unnatural to bend that way. Like, I don't know how that's working. But she's covering up the arm of the husband a little bit. So his hand should peek up there. And it does, but it looks like it's coming from the other way to hold on to the baby's hand, but I don't really understand how that would work. And then on top of it, the baby has a hand here on this side, and he also has another hand on the same side, and even his shirt has been custom tailored to have 2 sleeves on one side, and his hand is going forward to go underneath the arm of his brother. But then what sticks out? What is that? What is that? And then the other baby, his hand looks like a blend of 2 different hands. One of those hands not belonging to a baby because you can see the veins. You can see the veins. And it's horrendous. And also, this knee of one of the babies, what is going on there? What's happening? That's not normal. Take that boy to a doctor. And oh, could it get any worse, right? That's all horrific. But I have one more thing I'd like to point out. The other husband's hand is wrapping around the wife, but somehow she's being held on by 3 hands. So we have one coming from the front of her waist, which doesn't make any sense. One coming from the back of her waist, which would make sense. That's how he would actually be holding her. And then we have another one coming from the back of her waist. And that third one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers, but that's not including the thumb. I don't know what else I can say for them other than I hope they get the help they need. And these are all the ones that I have accumulated over the past couple months, because I do come across AI images all the time, right? But they usually aren't that horrific. So I only actually screenshot the ones where I'm like, oh my god, I cannot pass this up. I must save this. And I compiled them all, so I had enough for this video. And if I ever find enough to be able to film a second AI image video, I would absolutely do it, because some of these are crazy. However, AI continues to get better and better at actually making the images look real. So that is a little alarming that as time goes on, maybe I won't be able to find enough that I can use for a video, because they actually all look really good. And I don't like that. AI is supposed to do things that us humans don't want to do, or that we could greatly have help with and improve upon. Like, use AI to overlook a bunch of data and see if it can find any patterns. That's a useful thing for AI. Using AI for the arts, any art really, is horrific, because as a human, I would rather spend my time doing the arts and having fun and having more time of doing those creative things and less time poring over data. But instead it's the opposite. I need to pore over the data by hand myself, because the AI is not doing it, because the AI is too busy making military families have horrible, horrible hands that creep me out, apparently, in images. Like, what are we doing here? Why is it backwards? It could be a wonderful tool. We're just not using it that way. It makes me sad. Also, look at this Amazon ad that I was shown. Look at this thing. Shop now. Maybe I will. Thank you all so much for watching.